Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
And I am Martin Esiedu Datim. Here are the headlines for this evening.
360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint
and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Coming up tonight, ECOWAS orders activation of its standby force, indicating that all options, including the use of force, remain on the table to respond and restore constitutional order in Niger.
Defense staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately.
Also tonight, court documents confirm Office of Special Prosecutors seized over 2 million cedis and $590,000 from Abelinte residence of former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapaah.
Later in the bulletin, U.S. Ambassador Virginia Palmer We have details of all these stories and more. Do be a part of the show. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts. Details now.
We begin with the situation in Niger, where ECOWAS has ordered the activation of its standby force. The regional bloc, after its extraordinary summit in Abuja, indicated that all options, including the use of force, remain on the table to restore constitutional order in Niger. Noble Crosby Annan has been following this development.
After a summit of its heads of state in the Nigerian capital Abuja, the bloc pledged to enforce sanctions and travel bans on those preventing the return to power of democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum. Quote, no option is taken off the table, including the use of force as a last resort, said Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, the ECOWAS chair, at the end of the summit. He said, quote, we remain steadfast in our commitment to supporting Niger in the journey towards peaceful democratic stability. He added that, quote, I hope that through our collective efforts we can bring about a peaceful resolution as a roadmap to restoring stability and democracy in Niger. All is not lost yet, unquote. Here is President of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Omar Aliu Toure, at the end of the summit.
Direct the Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements immediately. Order the deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Underscore its continued commitment to the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means.
The Republic of Niger, a landlocked nation in West Africa, has been grappling with a political crisis of monumental proportions following a military coup that shook its democratic foundations. Ousting the democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum sent shockwaves across the region, prompting immediate condemnation and concern. In response, the regional bloc, known for championing democracy, human rights and good governance, has taken action. Sanctions have been imposed on the junta, signaling a unified stance against the unlawful seizure of power, which include a threat of military intervention. ECOWAS has embarked on a multifaceted approach, deploying mediation teams, with some successful and others unsuccessful.
Let's now speak to Colonel Retired Festus Abuaji. He is a security analyst. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Now, although ECOWAS chair says that all is not lost in bringing about a peaceful resolution, he's gone ahead to order the activation of ECOWAS's standby force. What's your reaction to this latest development and the signal it sends to mediation efforts?
Well, thanks for having me, Madam Portia. I think the outcomes or the outcome of the meeting in Abuja is a bit mixed. To me, it's very clear that ECOWAS has changed or shifted its position slightly. It does no longer mention Bazoum. It rather emphasizes the restoration of democracy or governance. Which is very, very different, significantly different from its emphasis or focus on the reinstatement or restoration of Bazoum at the last meeting. The ordering of the deployment of the ECOMOG standby force is also another interesting angle. Now, for those who don't know too much about this force, it's not a standing force. So there is no barracks or any headquarters in West Africa that we say headquarters, ECOWAS, standby or standing force. It is rather the troops who are at home in their respective countries. When needed, they will be contributed to the ECOWAS cause. The only standing element of that ECOWAS standby force is the two elements. First of all, the planning element, which plans around the clock, but normally for peacekeeping. And then the office of the Chief of Staff of ECOWAS, who is a general or a colonel or whatever with some staff, few of them based in Abuja. So with this order, these officers, in all likelihood, augmented by other senior officers from the ECOWAS member states, are now going to plan into detail how they're going to launch this invasion of Niger. As of yet, we have not heard of a force commander. And one day we expect the ECOWAS president to tell us that an ECOWAS force commander has been appointed. He can only be appointed with the sanction of the authority. So we expect the authority meeting within another framework that we call the ECOWAS mediation and MSC, ECOWAS mediation and I've forgotten the word, but the abbreviation is MSC. There are 9 members. They're going to meet, and then the president will tell them who his recommendation is as to the force and so on and so forth. They'll be presented with the details of the military operation, and then they will give their blessing. I realize, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, considering the domestic pressures from ECOWAS countries, do you think member states will be ready to support and even finance any military intervention? Nigeria, for instance, they have about 223,000 troops, but haven't been able to control Boko Haram and insurgency in the region.
Good. Now, some of these figures that you hear in some international journals like Jay's Defense are far from the reality. So nobody really knows the sizes of forces that ECOWAS member states have. That's one. The ECOWAS standby force, all mobilized on paper, is 6,500. We don't have them on the ground. They are only in their countries of origin. So this planning is going to now reconfigure the structure of this force based on which of the countries confirm the pledges that they have made. So Ghana might have pledged 1 battalion, 2 battalions, but under this circumstance currently, Ghana will say, I'm sorry, I have other commitments, and I'm not able to meet that pledge. I can only give you so much or so many. It is when these member states, and there are only 11 of them who are left, because 4 of them are now part of the, let's call them the Sahel Alliance of Guinea, of Mali, of Burkina Faso, and now Niger, that we can be sure that the force has been properly configured. There's a military doctrine, it's very general, that any army that is launching an offensive operation against somebody who is defending must have a force ratio of 3-to-1. Now I checked some time back, the Niger army is about 5,000, excluding a small air force. They have the gendarme, you have the police, I think they have some militia. So the army alone is 5,000. Let's say that the Nigerian armed forces, together with the police, all together are 7,500. So ECOWAS must be thinking of upward of 22,000. We don't have that. We only on paper have 6,500. So we need to wait and hear from the member states how many of which type of forces that member states are going to contribute. We need about 3 categories of forces, actually more. We need the combat troops, those who do the fighting, normally drawn from the army with the rifles centered on the infantry. We need combat support, the artillery, the armored, the engineers, the signals, communications, and so on. Then we need the combat support, those who run the vehicles and fuel them and maintain them, the food that we're going to eat, the medical health support facilities. We need to move with the hospital beyond what we have, small elements of a hospital in a battalion. It takes time. And these resources, because we are going to launch an expedition, do not exist in our member states. We need probably quickly to find them, like mobile hospitals and so on, and make them part. We may have weapons on our inventory or inventories, but we may not have the ammunition. Because in reality, no army has all the ammunition that they need to go to war. They maintain it at a certain level. Now we need to ramp it up. And because we don't manufacture these types of ammunitions in Africa or in West Africa, we need to place orders. And the orders might take a bit of time, before they arrive. So all said and done, the mobilization of this force, in the words of activation, it's not a 1 day or 9 day wonder. It's going to take time.
Right.
And I don't think that we're talking of maybe a month or 2. My yardstick is that when America was going to Iraq, it took them 100 days. That was what I think General Schwarzkopf or Colin Powell or whoever told his principal, that I cannot go in. I need to get my forces ready. And I hope our generals will have that moral authority to tell the politicians that don't be in a hurry. Because it's a risky venture. If you don't plan well, you don't prepare well, and you go in, you will suffer casualties. And that will come with political consequences.
Sir, thank you so much for your time. I've been speaking with Colonel Retired Abuaje. He is a security analyst.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3. A lot is happening, and it looks as though it will take longer for those forces to be mobilized before action is taken. All right, let's come home now, because the Office of the Special Prosecutor has confirmed seizing over 2 million cedis and $590,000 from the residence of former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapaah. The revelation was captured in court documents filed by the special prosecutor, who is seeking to affirm and prolong the freeze of assets of the embattled former minister. Eric Maona Egbeta has been studying the documents and reports.
As confirmed by court documents, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has frozen the accounts of former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapaah. What is becoming evident is that all 7 accounts belonging to the former minister, with both Societe Generale Ghana Limited and Prudential Bank Ghana Limited, have significant amounts of money which cannot be touched or accessed by the former minister. What has been revealed further in these documents by the Office of the Special Prosecutor currently in court is that bank accounts with Prudential Bank Ghana Limited, up to 4 separate accounts exist with different sums of money in both cedis and in dollars. With Societe Generale Ghana Limited, up to 3 bank accounts exist in the name of Cecilia Dapaah, with cedis investment and some cash resting comfortably. What the court documents further confirm in relation to ongoing investigation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor is that the search at the 3 residential homes of Cecilia Dapaah in July of this year indeed discovered a lot more cash. According to the documents, the officers of the Special Prosecutor discovered up to $590,000 in hard cash, and up to 2.7 million cedis in hard cash as well at the Abelemkpe residence of the former minister. What this means is it does confirm the reportage we brought to you here at TV3 of a lot more money found in the home of the former minister. What awaits now is the hearing, which is scheduled on the 17th of August of this year, for a determination as to whether or not the Financial Division of the Accra High Court will continue to give the special prosecutor the authority to have these 7 accounts frozen until investigations are done.
In more news tonight, the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, Virginia Palmer, says Ghana will send a wrong signal to investors if it goes ahead to pass any laws that discriminate against the LGBTQ community. Ghana's anti-LGBTQ bill is at the consideration stage to, among others, criminalize the promotion, advocacy, funding, and acts of homosexuality.
Uganda in May passed its anti-LGBTQ law, which is already receiving varied reactions from across the world, including the World Bank halting new loan approvals for the country. Here in Ghana, Parliament is making progress on the anti-LGBTQ bill, the promotion of appropriate sexual rights and family values bill, which seeks to criminalize the promotion, advocacy, funding, and acts of homosexuality. But the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, Virginia Palmer, says Ghana should be cautious about its stance on LGBTQ.
Ghana is a very welcoming, tolerant society. Lots of interreligious harmony, a lot of interethnic harmony, and that makes Ghana strong and stable and attractive for investment. I hope it stays that way with regard to the LGBT community. And again, there's money to be made. You know, the color of your money is green or red if it's Ghanaian. But if there is discrimination or worse, then that will send a signal to not just LGBT investors and exporters, but the other American companies that Ghana is less welcoming than I'm telling people that it is now. So I hope it will stay welcoming.
The U.S. has already threatened aid cuts and other sanctions, including visa restrictions against Ugandan officials. Ambassador Palmer fears any law that is hostile to the LGBT community has a likelihood to affect trade relations between the two countries. Out of the 54 African countries, only 22 of them have legalized homosexuality, including South Africa, Botswana, Gabon, Angola, and Mauritius.
On to some other stories, and government is being called upon to invest in the community mining scheme to make it attractive and sustainable. According to some Western region community mining groups, they are struggling to survive while some have ceased operations.
President Akufo-Addo in July 2019 launched the community mining program at Wassa Ekropon in the Amenfi East municipality of the Western region, to, among other things, help formalize mining in selected communities across the country and eradicate illegal mining by providing employment opportunities for the youth. But a visit to some of these community mining sites has led to some rather startling revelations. 2 community mining groups in the Amenfi East municipality have ceased operations, whilst another at Ahanta West is struggling to survive. Our first port of call was at Wassa Bordier, commissioned by the President in July 2019. The miners had abandoned the site with all the grounding machines removed. Weeds had taken over the land. A transformer mounted here by the Electricity Company of Ghana for the operations of the site had also been taken away.
Before these samples, we were working smoothly, but after erecting this, we don't used to get money as it was. So the sponsors have decided to not work here again.
He is appealing to the big mining companies to give out some of their pits which are not in use for community mining. Frederick Crunchy is the municipal chief executive for Wassa Amenfi East.
Community mining is also it's operating like the Galamsey, that people don't do proper geological work. We don't do any test work. You just, by just mere fact that maybe somebody was working here, so they will be good there. Then you do your plan and everything. They give you the approval. You set up the structures, and then you start the mining. The government have to spend more by doing detailed geological work in certain areas, market that this area is viable and it is meant for community mining. When you go to other countries, that is what they do.
Meanwhile, Frederick Kumar, speaking on sustaining community mining in the country, says government needs to invest more as it is capital intensive.
One of the major problems with the community mining scheme is lack of financial backing or support for these community miners. And most of these people are local people who have something small in their hands and they want to earn something to take care of families. But it's also a capital-intensive initiative. Some of the miners can dig for 2 years without, getting the rock that they need to work.
He believes the government can make money from this if much attention is paid to it.
Away from the Western region, government is introducing a garments and textiles manufacturing policy by end of this year. Trade Minister K.T. Hammond says this policy provides an incentive framework to attract and facilitate targeted investments into the suffering textile industry.
The textile industry in Ghana was once a leading player in the country's industrial sector, employing about 30,000 workers. That number is now closer to 3,000 and dropping steadily, largely due to competition from cheap imports, predominantly from Asia, which is making it difficult for Ghanaian textile producers to prosper in the market. Speaking at the US-Ghana Business Expo in Accra, Trade Minister K.T. Hammond says plans are advanced to resuscitate the industry.
The government of Ghana has, in collaboration with the industry experts, formulated a garment and textiles manufacturing policy and the incentive framework to attract and facilitate targeted investment into the industry. After extensive consultation with stakeholders, the process has concluded, and my ministry would formally outdoor this policy in the next couple of months.
U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Virginia Palmer, charged the two countries to leverage on its partnership for mutual benefits.
Well, more billions, I guess, is the straight answer. It's $3.7 billion in goods now, lots in services, but huge potential, I think, for growth in both directions. And that creates jobs in Ghana and jobs in the United States and prosperity in both countries.
The expo, put together by AmCham, provides a platform to foster bilateral trade collaborations. The two-day event is on the theme leveraging U.S.-Ghana trade relations for growth and prosperity.
Still, let's go to the Ashanti region, and city authorities in Kumasi say they are open for engagement over the ban on tricycle taxis, which is currently in force, but they want the operators to abide by the restriction directives.
The Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has begun releasing the about 100 tricycles it impounded during the enforcement of tricycle taxis ban within the Central Business District. An amount of 134 Ghana cedis was charged for each tricycle release. But KMA says beginning Monday, August 14, any impounded tricycle will pay a fine of 500 Ghana cedis.
As part of this document, we have also attached the map to it so that they will get to know that this is the radius within which I am not supposed to work. So they can work outside it and do whatever they want to do in the city. But at least within the stated area, they cannot do it. Obey the rule and then let's engage. But we cannot engage like we did here because this is ad hoc. And this is an indication that we are ready to engage.
The Assembly remains resolute in ensuring the effective implementation of the restrictions and urge all tricycle operators to comply with the regulations and avoid penalties and further consequences.
Meanwhile, leadership of the Zongo community has also met the operators. We urge all of you to remain calm as we continue to engage with city authorities.
Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3. We have many more stories for you, including business, sports, and entertainment. Do stay with us. We'll be back with them shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Choose Sukasa for the highest quality, luxurious townhouses in East Lagoon Hills. 2, 3, and 4 bedroom in a gated community starting at $40,000 in Akragana. Sukasa, building on trust.
I'm still like a crack. Oh, like a crazy sec. Oh, Amaria, Pomma Sherry. They be Amaria Fakaka. So,
Amalia, Zumwa, Bedimuna, then I say, Bam!
Mammy Halley, Manumbala.
And that was a video.
A Pomma tomato mixer, no.
Pomma, no! When you come while you don't. Hey. Nothing, no.
Hey, Pomma tomato mixer. Pomma, no.
Pomma, no. Charlie, no, I did love coming. If did you love no?
If it is Pomma tomato mixer. Pomma, no.
Pomma, no.
Pomma tomato mix aye, the natural tomato mix aye. Eye koko kama e mupi. Fiber when in rowo munti. Emma would be a near destro comada for 4 near busianina. This advert is FDA approved.
Who no like chop money? They want chop money is here. Collect your chop money every morning at 10 a.m. by simply dialing *446# and select option 2 to play Day 539 chop money. Win 40 times your stake with Direct 2, 400 times your stake with Direct 3, and 20 times your stake with Direct 1. You can also pay your numbers to win big. You only pick your numbers from 1 to 39, so winning is easy. Dial *446# to play Day 539 chop money now. Dewa,
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, SoftCare always stays with you.
New SoftCare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
SoftCare. Protect your leap.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN, Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
It's now time for business news with Pakwesi Asare. Pakwesi, more revelations from the Bank of Ghana.
Absolutely. We're going to be telling you a lot more. We've been digging ourselves, and we're going to be giving some more information on the Bank of Ghana and all that's been happening over the past few weeks. Now, 3 business checks can confirm that directors of the Bank of Ghana receive far more salaries than their counterparts in other African countries. Well, the bank, which recently reported a loss of about 60 billion cedis, has been in the news for all the wrong reasons. Well, in the following report, 3 business has been finding out the mandate of the board and what role they may have played. Do you know that the Bank of Ghana's directors receive far more salaries than their counterparts in other African countries like Kenya and Nigeria, 2 of Africa's biggest economies? Yes, each of the 10 directors of the central bank receives up to $8,000 a month, the equivalent of almost 85,000 cedis. Compared to their counterparts in Kenya, there are 6 independent directors with each earning up to $2,000 a month, while 7 of the directors in Nigeria each receive up to $3,000 a month. This is separate from the allowances and entitlements. But wait a minute before jumping into conclusions. Perhaps, and just maybe, these 10 independent directors deserve their wages for the kind of work they do, considering the caliber of people represented on the board. The board is responsible for formulating policies necessary for the achievement of the bank's objectives, which are to maintain stability in the general level of prices and to ensure effective and efficient operations of the banking and credit systems and support general economic growth. But what do we see here? That the Bank of Ghana, which is a regulator of the banking industry, has incurred a loss of nearly 60 billion cedis as a result of the domestic debt exchange program. In short, Ghana's Bank of Ghana was overexposed to government bonds and securities in the form of overdrafts and advances far in excess of the stipulated 5% of the previous year's revenue as stated in the bank's own act. How on earth that happened with an independence board in place begs answers. And yet, the same Bank of Ghana, after satisfying government's thirst and hunger for expenses, turns around to inflict pain on individuals and businesses by hiking interest rates through its monetary policy tool. A more responsible and independent board would have been expected to either seek parliamentary approval or tell the government to spend within its limits. How on earth is the Bank of Ghana not accepting blame and responsibility for the current inflation rate of over 40% and depreciation of the currency being witnessed? The board, instead of formulating policies to ensure stability in general price levels, failed woefully despite receiving such huge salaries. The board, curiously chaired by the governor, flouted its own act when it printed monies to promote government expenditure and yet turned around to say it is mopping up excess liquidity. Pakwesi Asare for 3 Business. We'll be bringing you a lot more on the central bank and its activities. Elsewhere, the rising rate of inflation, experts have said, is worrying and may require government intervention. According to figures provided by the Ghana Statistical Service for the 3rd consecutive month, inflation soared again, this time marginally to 43.1% in July from 42.2% that was recorded in June. My colleague Menu Afol takes a look at the top 10 items with the highest rates of inflation and explains why one must pay attention to these figures.
Household items remain the top drivers of inflation rates following the release of the July inflation, which stands at 43.1%. Food inflation, however, appears to have increased despite reducing twice in previous months. It recorded an inflation rate of 55% for July from the previous record of 54.2%, with tea and some related items recording inflation rates of above 100%. Let me walk you through the top 10 items with the highest inflation rates. Tea bags appears to be number 1 on the list with an inflation rate of 121.6%. Now that's quite a lot. It means that the Lipton, the green tea, all the flavored tea bags we've been enjoying are now expensive. Shelled groundnuts is number 2 with 106.1%. All the lovers of shelled groundnuts who have been buying them in traffic, it's now become expensive. Dog meat is number 3 with an inflation rate of 103.4%. Palm oil used in the preparation of gobe. Gobe lovers are going to suffer. It has an inflation rate of 97.2%. Iodidated salt, which we all use for cooking for taste, now has an inflation rate of 92.5%. Now, the 6th item on the list is fish. It has an inflation rate of 88.1%. Mind you, fish is used as an accompaniment for a lot of our meals here in Ghana. Talk about kinke, banku, even rice. The 7th item is shea butter, also another versatile item used for the skin and our hair. It recorded a rate of 85.4%. Now, we also have country milk featuring with an inflation rate of 83%. Cola nuts also with 81.9%. And finally, sanitary pads, which are very essential and crucial for every female or girl child, also with an inflation rate of 81.7%. Now, what this essentially means is that if you regularly spend on any of these items, your personal rate of inflation will be much higher than the national average of 43.1%. Experts warn consumers to brace up for tough times ahead. Reporting for 3 Business, I am Menu Afo.
Indeed, tough times ahead. Meanwhile, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, Anthony Morrison, has cited high food importation bills as one of the main drivers of food inflation. He spoke to 3 Business.
Over the past 5 years, our importation bill moved from $5.6 billion to now almost $11 billion annually. You also look at the figures properly and you realize that the key drivers of food inflation are cost of production. Then you also look at transportation. We know people are also hoarding food in large amounts here and there. If we can work on our national priority and begin to design a deliberate attempt to reduce the importation bill, we will start beginning to work towards reducing the food inflation.
Well, that's all for the very latest in the world of business. For more business news stories, do well to visit our website. It's www.3news.com.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. The unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family because every smile matters.
New Pepsodent Herbal. Introducing a unique combination of herbal extracts in an antibacterial toothpaste for strong teeth and healthy gums that protects your family and you. Every smile matters.
It's the Premier League, all on DSTV. All the goals, clashes, and moments. All of Rashford, Salah, and Saka.
Their start is getting better and better.
All in the language of your choice, all in HD. Available on all these bouquets to choose from. To watch on all these devices. Get DSTV with an HD decoder plus 1 month compact for 299 CDs. It's the Premier League, all on DSTV.
Many people think I get whatever I want because I'm a popular actress. But no, that is not true. Me Ankasano, Adebia mi yebiano, me shishimpe papano. And when I find it, I stick to it. My shishimenya Bell Pack tissues. Bell Pack ewe tea roll. Bell Pack tea roll. Soft, but not weak. Strong, but not hard. It is smooth. Me yusua, me hotome. It's just perfect. Same as the kitchen towel. What about what? What me the papaye? What me soaki? Echimu esa pepa. One Bell Pack kitchen towel lasts longer and saves you money. It's time you switch to Bell Pack today. Say here pocket tissue, table napkin, tea roll, and a kitchen towel. Bell Pack is simply the best. It's just perfect.
Nothing feels so good like Bell Pack.
Water is life. Water gives life.
water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water. One for life. So relax and unwind, and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA.
Sports segment is brought to you by Bell Pack Tissues.
All right, welcome back to News 360 on TV3. Time now for sports. So Rick Wampofo is with us.
Hi, Martin.
What's coming up?
And so we do have the World Athletics Championships that we're building up to, but Team Ghana for the 4x100 relay team will be looking very different now.
Because of the injury, right?
Yeah, Azamati, and then also some of the other guys are kind of phasing out of the team, so it's time for the young ones.
Okay, all right, details now.
And so we'll be getting right into it on the sports segment here, where for the first time in about 3 years, Ghana's relay team would be changing. There's no place for Sean Safwenchi, Joseph Odromenu, and then Emmanuel Yeboah, who all could not make the stipulated qualifying times for the World Athletics Championships, alongside Benjamin Azamati, who also picked up an injury. We do have more details for you in the following report put together by my colleague Yao Ofosulabi.
Team Ghana has pitched camp in France, awaiting the beginning of the World Athletics Championships in Budapest later this month. The team will be without Benjamin Azamati, who is out with a groin injury. As a strong member of the team, Azamati's exclusion will be a big blow to the team, but coach Elo Mamenapo says it will not be a problem.
These guys are all determined, they are very focused, they are very ready to compete at the world stage, and the captain, of course, Joseph Polamon, experience is also going to play a very crucial role for us. As every blessed day he's talking to the athlete, and we are sucking them that hey, this is also their opportunity to be the like of Benjamin Azamati and Jupol. So the boys are ready and very focused.
The new team includes youngsters Isaac Botio, James Darty, Raymond French, and Edwin Gadai. They will be led by top runner Joseph Polamwa, who won bronze in the 200 meters at the Commonwealth Games.
I think he's a big day guy. He also show up in big days. I coach him at West Texas A&M University too. He's always show up big days. And James, if you know James is someone that is very, very, very tough. He has a very tough mind. So I believe in the guys. And then I know come that day, they are going to put up their maximum performance for Team Ghana.
Ghana will have Joseph Polamo in the 200 meters. James Dazi, who was just broken into the top 10 in the world in 200 meters, and others. For coach, Ghana's chances are looking good.
What we are going to use as our weapon at the World Championship will be how fast we change the baton. That's the baton speed. That's what we're going to work on. We're trying to work on the team spirit, the team cohesion, try to change baton in difficult situations. So that's what we're going to rely on.
Ghana's new addition to the 4x100 meters relay is Raymond French. He has broken into the team and is potentially one of the boys looking to light up the big stage. French says the new team, filled with youngsters, is ready to take on the rest of the world.
You just wait and see the fire coming. Similarly, a very strong team. When you are marker by one team, because look, I want to compete now. They are all strong. When you are on your team, so I think that similarly is good. Similarly good.
Ghana will leave France, where they base for training, and head to Budapest on the 16th of August.
To some football now, where despite Brighton and Ajax agreeing a fee for Mohamed Kudus, the player is yet to agree personal terms with the Premier League club. Sports journalist Sani Dara believes it's because of the involvement of the 23-year-old when it comes to the contract discussions.
I don't think it's only Brighton that are interested in Kudus. I think Brighton are so far the side that have made the farthest move. There are still some more days left yet. The latest information is that, Kudus is very, very particular about his contract, and you'll be surprised to know that a lot of the times he sets the terms of the contract himself. So I was not surprised by his insistence on the fact that he needs a buyout clause stated clearly in his contract, because as it is now in football, if a player is not apt, you might be hijacked into something you might not want. So he's right to demand all the terms in the contract. And I think that is what is stalling it for now. But I'm still not surprised that there are lots of teams that are interested in him, but have not tabled any offers yet. So there are still more days left in the transfer for the transfer window to shut, and we'll see what would happen in the coming days.
Well, we do have about 20 days left for the transfer window to shut, but we're 24 hours from the start of the new Premier League season as Manchester City, the defending champions, get ready to face Burnley at Turf Moor on Friday. Pep Guardiola admits it will be almost impossible to replicate their season success from last time out.
No, I don't think so. It will be possible to do. In a lifetime. So I said to the players, forget about it. So we climbed the highest mountain last season, what we have done, but the last 2 days we came down to the mountain and we start from the, from there, where everyone with the same intention, and will be a lot of difficulties to climb as high as possible in our level, the mountain, and we'll see. Our football, our behaviors, our mentality will dictate how is the season will be. So in football and sport, what you have done remains in our hearts, in our minds, how nice it was, but it's over. So every season starts from zero and again. But the history speaks for itself. When you achieve something what you have done, it's almost impossible to repeat. We have to be aware of that, and hopefully our fans like ourselves, we can understand how difficult it was, and just to try to win or try to do good performance against Burnley, and after Newcastle, and after Sheffield, and game by game, no more than that.
Well, that's all time would permit us here on the sports segment on News 360. My name is Ray Kwampofo. If you're after some more sports stories, you can check our social media handles at 3SportsGH. Up next on The Bulletin is entertainment.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities from 1,500 cedis upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. What are you waiting for? Call Quick Credit today. 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
It's on my nephew.
Wow, this place has changed, yo!
welcome!
Yo, Adra, look at you all grown up, yo.
Some things never change, like Gino's quality recipe that gives my food that rich color, unique natural taste every time.
Smells good, yo. Hey, sister, with the Wapun and Kasa, just like I remember.
Uncle, hurry up and let's open the suitcase.
Ajua, chai, na me shrink quite fast.
Best jollof I've ever eaten.
Wow, this is real jollof, mommy.
Gino dear, Emma Adriana de Ankasa.
Say Gino dear, fie. It's delicious, yo.
This advert is FDA approved.
Money Musa was same yansa. Mo networks are use no. Embrahin and I'm recharge ya. Munyam faso everyone so. Mabwa, Capre, way. And that's what you want. Muntian Carbo did through. Vodafone say every Sabre queen. A Brebia Uber recharge from 5 cities El Cobiano. Assigned with seek up to 20% amount back cash. Our Vodafone cash so. It shock you? With the young yarn say Uber recharge. Say my Vodafone app. Vodafone cash. Credit transfer. Short code. Emubia. Uradia.
Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana Cedi or more in Vodafone's double promotion and receive up to 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone double promotion. Vodafone, further together.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water, GTP Lifestyled, Vodafone, Further Together, and powered by 3 Entertainment.
It's now time for us to dance through the world of entertainment news with Anita. Anita, take us to the dance.
Yeah, we're definitely going to dance. Right? I like what Martin is doing. Are you a dance god?
I used to.
You used to?
Oh,
Martin. All right, let's get into the details. My name is Anita Ekia Ekufu, and Ghanaian dance star Dance God Lloyd has urged dancers not to rest on their oars, but to keep pushing to break boundaries. In an interview with 3 Entertainment, the talented dancer believes there are more avenues for dancers to make money. Born Lord Anu Kunedu, Dance God Lloyd is a Ghanaian dancer, dance coach, choreographer, and one of the young individuals that have helped project the art of dance in Ghana and has created many viral dance challenges. With his creative abilities, Dance God Lloyd continues to break more barriers, endearing his craft to many dance lovers.
Lloyd in Europe was very beautiful and it's inspiring, you know, like starting from, you know, nowhere to where I'm headed in life is just beautiful. It shows that there's more to do, you know, like nothing is impossible. Just keep pushing and believe in yourself, you know, don't look down upon yourself. You can make it. If I'm able to make it, you can also make it.
In an interview with 3 Entertainment, the versatile dancer shared his experience after touring 4 European countries with his Afro dance workshop.
Yeah, I was very much amazed because I didn't even know. I knew people really loved me, but I did not see until I was in Europe. The love is amazing. How people are welcoming me in their countries, because I was in about 4 countries and the way they welcomed me was beautiful. It was like a lot of happiness, a lot of joy around everybody that came to my class. It's just beautiful to experience something like this, you know. Sometimes you need to move out of your comfort zone to see who is there for you. And I experienced that, and I'm so happy.
The choreographer, however, believes there are more avenues to grow the industry if dancers keep pushing their boundaries.
Dance is very lucrative now. Now everybody wants to learn how to dance, and it's just beautiful. We've created a lot of avenues for dancers to make money, and there are more to come. The more we keep pushing, the more we keep doing a great job, I'm sure more avenues are going to come.
And away from dance, a total of 92 events and festivals have been endorsed by the Ghana Tourism Authority and the Beyond the Return Secretariat as part of the 2023 December in Ghana campaign. And notable among them are the Creative Arts Festival, Rhythms on the Runway, the Taste of Ghana Festival, Dirty Rave, and a host of others.
Aquaba to December in GH.
Since 2019, December in GH has been a strong driver of tourism during the busy December season for travel to Ghana. The initiative seeks to give tourists ample time to coordinate the activities and festivals they wish to include in their itineraries for December. Speaking at the unveiling of the 2023 event, Chairperson of the Steering Committee, Professor A.C. Sutherland, outlined the considerations in accepting and endorsing the listed events.
We're very interested in the variety of events, so to make sure that we had a balance between business networking, music, dance, drama, as well as for different age groups, children, and so on and so forth. And we sort of make sure that we're not just anybody who just wants to do a tour. That wasn't good enough. We wanted to make sure that they had put something in place to make sure there's a proper interaction between Ghanaians living here and those who are coming from outside. So those were some of the issues that we were very careful to look at. Yes.
Kwesi Ajiman is the CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority.
The motivation is to ensure that more investors come into the country, more investors come into our sector, and more investors are deriving benefits from their investment. And so as an agency that is charged with promoting Ghana, we'll continue to do this. We just don't do December in GH. Right after December, we go into the Easter festivities, Kwewu, where we drive a lot of tourists into the Kwewu Enclave.
In all, a total of 92 events and festivals were endorsed by the Ghana Tourism Authority for the first phase of the December in Ghana project.
So we are very happy to declare December in Ghana 23 launched. Thank you.
Definitely have to look forward to the event on the calendar. But my name is Anita Ekia Ekufu. That will be all for the Entertainment News segment. Have a good evening.
Police in Nigeria's Central Plateau State say at least 21 people have been killed in separate attacks on 2 villages. 17 people were shot dead when gunmen stormed a community in Barkenladi early on Thursday. At least 4 died in a short time later in a similar attack nearby. The killings come despite an ongoing military operation aimed at stemming attacks that have killed several hundred people since May. Civil society groups blame ethnic Fulani herders for the killings, which they say are aimed at displacing indigenous farming communities so the herders can seize their land. Ukraine has ordered the mandatory evacuation of all civilians from 37 settlements in the northeast as Russia steps up its attacks there. The authorities in the Kupiansk district of the Kharkiv region said they had to act because of constant Russian shelling in the area. They said local residents were being moved to safe regions of Ukraine. Russia says its troops have gained some ground in the area, but Ukraine says Russian attacks have been rebuffed.
Before we go, remember to brush your teeth before you go to bed this evening and tomorrow morning when you wake up from bed with either Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Pepsodent Charcoal, Pepsodent Herbal, or Pepsodent Triple Protection, because with Pepsodent, every smile matters.
Absolutely. And just before we go, a quick reminder that we would also be bringing you the continuation of the 3 business thought leadership series that took place yesterday. We showed you excerpts of it yesterday. We are continuing today, so you do want to make a day. That's it for the bulletin. My name is Martin Asiedu Date.
I am Portia Gabo. Good evening.
Professor Boppin, so I'm bringing you at this point because if you look at the reasons why the Bank of Ghana went on the path of shutting or closing down some financial institutions, including commercial banks, withdrawing licenses, you talk about issues of corporate governance and non-performing loans, issues about credit risk and related party lending. Those are some of the reasons why they closed down the bank